We all want to be more compassionate and understanding with the people that are close to us in our lives. We also want to surround ourselves with people that are kind and compassionate to us. Empathy and sympathy are emotions that we use when we're dealing with others who are having problems with their lives. Imagine that you have a close friend whose name was Harry that fell into a hole in your backyard, and Harry lacked the ability to climb out of the hole. You may look out your window and mention to the people in the house, "Isn't it a terrible shame what's happened to Harry in the hole?" As you go to sleep that night, you may even stay awake for an hour wondering what is going to happen to Harry. The next day, feeling extra compassionate and understanding, you walk over to see how Harry's doing. You look into the sinkhole and say to Harry, "This is a terrible situation that you're in. I don't think you or your family are ever going to be able to get out of this situation and recover from this accident. I feel really sorry for you." You may walk over and throw a bottle down the hole for him and maybe a ham sandwich. This is an example of sympathy. These are feelings that we have for a person suffering from a tragedy with no personal connection to or the ability to alleviate their suffering. Empathy is the ability to enter into the soul of another and experience their feelings and emotions. If you are an empathetic person, as soon as you saw him fall into the hole, you would run over, climb down into the hole with Harry. You would let him know that you understand that he is in a terrible situation and that you understand the emotions that he's feeling. You may even express to him that although you may have not dealt with holes exactly as he has, you have been through experiences of tragedy, loss, and fear similar to his, and you understand his pain. As an empathetic person, the next step, after you have made the connection with Harry, is to figure out ways to get him out of the situation if possible. You may not be able to get him out of the hole. However, at least you would offer help in any way which you have strength or power to help Harry out. If it is only in your ability to get Harry a glass of water and he needs a glass of water, that is what you do. He may need more than a glass of water, but you only have so much strength and energy and power in life, but you still feel his frustration and pain that he is going through. You would offer to help him and comfort that you would like to see from others if you were in a similar situation. Empathy and sympathy always need to be in balance. You cannot show empathy to every person in the world. With the majority of people, all you can do is give them sympathy and understand that the situation that they are going through is not good. You cannot climb into a hole with every single person in the world and take care of them. Empathy is normally shown to your close circle of friends and maybe a few people in your community. As with most things in life, we're trying to find balance between empathy and sympathy. Some examples of finding balance between empathy and sympathy in life are, if you're walking down the street and you see a homeless person and you give them $5 because you feel sorry for them, this is sympathy. When your close friend, though, is homeless and you say to him, "This is a bad situation that you're in. Let's see what we can do to help you get out of this." And you would let them know that you've been in a similar situation and you think that you can help. You do not use guilt, shame, or blame on this person. If you are really empathetic, you could start a program for housing homeless people. This is empathy. Would you like to have friends that are more sympathetic or empathetic with you? Get out your stickies. Write on each of these stickies close friends that you have in your life. When you have 10 of your closest friends written down on stickies, rate each of these friends from 1 to 10, a 10 being the most empathetic, a 1 being more sympathetic. There are several questions that you should be asking yourself about these friends. Let's say that you had to move. Which friends would say, "Wow, that's a big job. I sure hate moving myself." Or, I would help you out, but I'm going to the beach next weekend. Then you should ask yourself which ones would gladly show up regardless to help you move. If you were in a bad economic situation and could not pay your bills that week, which friends would say, yeah, life's tough right now. It's hard to get a tough paying job. It's terrible that you're going to have to get your car repossessed and lose your home. Which friends would sit down with you, express their understanding of the situation, help you figure out a budget, and perhaps give you some cash to help you get back on your feet? This is the difference between sympathy and empathy. If we are sympathetic toward a group of people that are having problems, you can write your senator and explain their plight to her. If you are empathetic toward a group of people, you can organize a project to build homes, feed them, clothe them, or help them start a movement to stop the disease that they're suffering from. Empathy is when we see an ad on TV about starving children and we organize food kitchens for them, education campaigns, and we interact with them personally. Sympathy is when we send $20 to save the children. There are words that are used when using sympathy. It sucks to be you. This is terrible. I don't know how you will ever get out of this situation. I would never want to be you. What did you do wrong to get in this situation? Curse God and die. You deserve to burn in hell. You should feel bad about all of the terrible things that you've done. Are you really sorry for what you've done? You should be ashamed of yourself. I can't believe that you did that. You should be more humble. At least. This is the silver lining that people use. Silver lining is like when a person breaks a finger and you say, at least you didn't break your leg. Or when your girlfriend breaks up with you and they say, at least you're not going through a divorce. Or when you have kidney failure and they say, at least you don't have terminal cancer. Silver lining is taking a bad situation and comparing it to an imaginary situation that is even worse. These people feel that things would be better if you look at a more extreme, worst-case situation. Words are expressions that you can use when you're using empathy. I know exactly how you feel. I don't know what I would do if I were in your situation. Is there anything that I can do to help? I think that you're a very strong person for making it this far. You are great and wonderful for making it this far. It's amazing that you're holding up under all of this pressure that you're going through. Are you ready for me to help you climb out of the hole yet? Would you like a sandwich or a bowl of soup? I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just so glad that you told me what is happening to you. The pivotal point here is our perspective of what is going on around us. This comes under the classification of observation. We have to ask ourselves, are we judging others for their stupidity because of their fate, or are we being compassionate? What is our emotional awareness or our emotional quotient, our EQ, about the situation? In order to be empathetic, we need to make ourselves vulnerable. Sending in $20 to starving children on the other side of the world is not vulnerable. Helping out a local soup kitchen, though, that requires vulnerability. Sitting down with your children while they're struggling with their homework and listening to their frustrations requires us to be vulnerable. Allowing other people to take charge in life and be responsible requires us to be vulnerable. If you want to be empathetic, you must become vulnerable. Examine the list of your friends that you have made up. Which ones are sympathetic and which ones are empathetic? Which ones would you rather be around? If you want to have people really appreciate you, you would rather be empathetic or sympathetic? Try to look for situations in the next few weeks where you can become empathetic. Be aware of the situations in the next few weeks where you are only sympathetic. Once you have observed yourself interacting with others in the next few weeks, journal your observations and try to understand what the outcome or result of each interaction was. Then write down the wisdom that you have found in the difference between empathy and sympathy. You are great and wonderful for joining us on the road to Kaivala.